there, viewers, and welcome back to the South Main Auto Channel. So, we don't have a car in the bay. It's because we got this in the mail from a viewer, a guy named Charles. Guy's been a subscriber to our channel for a long, long time. And, always talk back and forth with him, and he is down south, about as far as you can go in the States. So, down there in Florida. And he's got this old Nissan, this 280ZX, I guess it is, non-turbo edition, and he has a bit of a dilemma. And the dilemma is the rear brake calipers on it are shot, they're leaking or seized or whatever the case may be, and he cannot get a left caliper. And I went and verified that. There are plenty of right calipers, whether you check, Advanced, Snap, O'Reilly's, Rock Auto, wherever, any parts store you check. And I even called a couple of the rebuilders like Cardone and Centrix, and they do not have left calipers, period. There's no cores, they don't have them, they can't, whatever. So he bought a couple of these little guys, a couple rebuild kits, and he wanted to know if I had a rebuild caliper video, which I don't. So I made a deal with him, and I told Charles, I said, you stuff them little guys in a box and send them up to me, and then we will have a brake caliper rebuild video. So here we are, and I got all excited. I'm like, sweet, brake caliper rebuild video. I haven't done one of those since I was a child, and simply because we buy calipers. So I was kind of excited, particularly because these calipers have the built-in parking brake. So as far as calipers are concerned, they're a little more complex than just, your piston, square cut seal type plain Jane caliper. But as usual, things don't go as planned, and I pulled the pistons, and hopefully you guys can see that, but it is pitted, to say the least. And this is after I cleaned it up, and this is on the right side. And this is a caliper that really wasn't given a whole lot of problems, but hopefully we can get that to focus there. Those pits, they're pretty heavy duty, and it goes where the seal inside the bore, so this is what they would consider your square cut seal, has to seal over this piston, to seal back hydraulic pressure. And, I don't know if they were leaking prior. I don't know how long the car's been sitting, but that's the condition of the pistons. I do not dare use them. If they had little teeny tiny pits, maybe, but those are pretty obnoxious. And unfortunately, I took and stuck the piston back in the bore, and it retracts, in the new position is pretty much, right back to that area. So the first, 30% of this piston's travel is in the crappy part. My assumption is, the pads perhaps were wore out, and the vehicle was stored, with the piston sticking out of the bore, that much. So the only thing over this is, the dust seal, which is intact, but I'll stick that back on there for you. I had to pull this apart a little bit already. So, you've got your dust seal. So this is typically what you would see on your caliper, and then you would see your dust seal. And the dust seal is intact, but it does, kind of promote, moisture, particularly with brake fluid being hydroscopic, I guess it would be. It attracts moisture, and you can see the inside of the, inside of the dust boot here is, brown and crusty. So I'm like, no big deal. I hop on the Rock Auto. I see brake caliper pistons listed by Centrix, who makes, a bazillion different kinds of brake pistons. So I said, sweet, we got this. I order them, and I get them, and they're wrong. Where the inner piston goes, so you've got the inner piston, these as part of the parking brake mechanism, where it goes inside the piston, it's machined much bigger. Still, same setup, flat washer, wavy washer, and a snap ring, and the piston, or adjusting screw, or whatever, whatever terminology you want to use on it, it's overall bigger. The rubber portion of the piston is the same, but this neck, where it seals in here, is bigger. And it sucks because the piston was perfect. It was the right OD, right length, right everything except for this. And without, this adjusting nut, we're up the creek, so to speak, So that left me with, you know, what's next. I found a couple independent rebuilders throughout the States. I checked with them, you know, what do you do in a certain situation? Nobody really had an answer other than to call Centrix, because that's where they all get their pistons from. I was like, well, I've been down that road. I emailed them to no avail. Of course, they don't return emails. So I'm just like, you can't, in my mind, you can't just junk this car because, you know, something silly like this. So I got the old thinker working, and what I did is I ordered us 2 right-hand calipers. And I think what we're gonna do is salvage the piston out of one of the right-hand calipers, because I can't think of anything else to do. Somewheres in China where they rebuild these, they get the pistons. I mean, they must, because they rebuild them, or they got a whole bunch of right-hand ones. So we're gonna tear it apart, and we're gonna see if the only thing that worries me is the adjuster nut here. The only thing that worries me, so see, this is threaded internally, okay, because of the parking brake mechanism inside the caliper, and the only thing that worries me is the left one might be left-hand thread. I don't believe it is, but it might be. We don't know unless we try. So I told Charles, I said, I'm going to order 2 right-hand calipers. We're going to Frankenstein one. You're going to get one back because they've already done the hard work. They've got this one rebuilt. So we've got another one in a box here somewhere, and I think that's the best thing we can do. So that's the story. So let's get at it. I've never rebuilt a caliper on an 82 Datsun, so let's fumble through this together. All right, so this is the offender. This is the left-hand side. He did send them with the brackets and everything. So just take and pull these off first. Get this off, just kind of set that to the side so we don't misplace it, like I just did for the right-hand one as I walked around frantically looking for it. The next thing we have to do is get the piston out. Sometimes you can pump them out with the parking brake mechanism, or we could unscrew it, or we can give her a little toot of air. Let me get a pad. This brings back awful memories from my childhood. I had an old Jeep Scrambler, and I wanted to rebuild my own caliper. And my dad told me, put a little air in the, you know, where the banjo bolt goes, and pop that caliper out. Well, I was just a young buck, and I tore that baby apart. I grabbed right a hold of it, pow, put a little air in there, lost all 4 of them fingernails. My dad thought it was pretty funny because he neglected to tell me to stick a block of wood in there. So we're gonna put a little towel in there. So anytime I even think about doing this, I get some cold chills. So let's give her a little toot, see if it comes out. Look at that, huh? Oh, that just makes my fingers hurt. Okay. She's a little bit sludgy. That's gross. Okay. So this piston, which I assumed was going to be just as bad, is, to the degree it's slightly worse. I mean, I don't know, probably worst case scenario, like if we could never ever find any of this, then sure, we could try to put it together, or you could send this out to a machine shop, get it turned down, get it replated, and then return it. But I mean, for crying out loud, that would be spendy. So we're gonna take and pull this dust seal off here. So that's the outer dust seal, as we can see. She's kind of nasty. I'll find a pick here. So then this is the seal that does most of the work in this job, or in this part here. This is your square cut seal. This is what's going to hold back all our hydraulic pressure. Realistically, before we get too far, we probably ought to pop apart one of the right-hand ones that I got, just to see if they are right-hand thread. You know what? Actually, we've got a piston. This is out of the right-hand side, so this will tell us right off the bat. Oh, sweet baby J. That is freaking awesome. They are both They're both right-hand thread. So this is the one out of the right side, this is obviously the one on the left side. And they're both right-hand thread. Well, sweet victory. We should be good. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch. And then, you know, inside here we should have a spring. Then we've got the cam mechanism that actually, you know, runs our little screw in and out, which is gonna, you know, work our piston out when the parking brake's applied. Let me get a socket here. We'll get that arm off there. Looks to be a 17 mil. There's that little fella. She should rotate there. I don't think we gotta take that pin out. Come on, little guy. I thought if we rotated it enough, we could clear that pin. Yeah, it should be that little flat spot right there. It's like a little notch in it. I thought it was notched enough to, there we go, okay. There's a little bit of downward movement in that. We're gonna have to document our parts, so make sure you guys keep track of them in case I get things goofed up. Let's go ahead and grab a pair of snap ring pliers. There's a snap ring down inside that bore, which I don't know if these are gonna be long enough or not. I've got some different brands, we might have to grab a different one. These are the convertibles, so sometimes this, you know, portion of it gets in the way. I need to get a stinking light. Let's see if I can grab a hold of it with these little guys. Ah, I can't, son of a... I don't want to just go in there with a pick and take it out because we've got to put it back in, so we've got to be mindful of that, obviously. I grabbed a hold of one half of it. That should be cute to put back together. Of course, it has spring tension on it. So we'll pull out the cup. All right, so that's our spring cover, our snap ring. Got our spring with a little bit of crust on it. I don't know if this get into on that other one or not. Got one washer. Everybody keeping track? You guys keeping track of the order of this stuff, just in case. I got another pair of snap ring pliers. Let me get them. Oh, sweet, they're the right pin diameter. Okay, so I'm checking on that. So this is the Astro set here. I think we've used them in another video. Let's see if we can get in there with these little guys. Man, this sucker is way down in there. This one I ain't too worried about. We could probably pick this one out. There shouldn't be any spring tension behind this one. This is going to be a 7-part series, I'm not going to lie. Oh, this sucks. Just not, I need like some wicked long ones. I'm like right on the edge of touching that little guy. I'm almost there. I can feel it. I'm in the hole on one side. wonder if we can just, we need to modify these. We need to heat them up and straighten out the handles or something. I'm not afraid to cut up tools, folks. All right, we're going to plan B, which is going to be the screwdriver, getting it under the snap ring. And then just giving her the old prize key. There she is, out it came. We may regret that later, trying to assemble it. So that snap ring, get this other washer out of there. And this rod should set against a cam. All right, so this is directional. This does have a locating pin in it. So we got to be mindful of that. Yep, there we go. Ugh. There's our rod that does have a seal on it, so hopefully it came with a new seal. There should be a pin that rests against this. And there that is. I don't believe that's directional. Make sure it doesn't have any kind of marks or anything on it. It does not. So I'll lay that out. Make our own exploded view. And then that should be the cam, yep. So theoretically, oops, I was gonna say theoretically, we should be able to take that out, which we did. So there's the little cam when you put on your parking brake. I'm just gonna rotate that pin in there and put a little pressure on it. All right, everybody following along? I'm just making this up as we go. We've got a seal here. All right, and then we've got a little half cage of bearings here. I'll show you. So hopefully, the light's probably. So there's a set of needle bearings in here. Of course, the piston or the the pin that goes on the cam rides right through here. So there can only be a little half cage of bearings. We're not going to fiddle with those. Those bearings are in a outer race, and they're hammered in there, or pressed in rather. We're not fiddling with that. We're going to clean them in place. They should not fall out, the best I can tell. They're in a caged race. Yep, that cage goes all the way around, so I'm not concerned with losing those. And that should be everything, folks. This thing is completely gutted now. What we're gonna have to do, isn't that a lovely sound, is we're gonna do some digging, some poking. I don't think I'm gonna sandblast this. I don't wanna take a chance of damaging the bore here. This inner bore, is not super critical because the piston doesn't really touch the inner bore. It's not like a piston on a car. There's a great deal of movement, when these slide in. So they chuck back and forth. It's more important that the groove here for the square cut seal is nice and clean. So I'm going to spend some time digging this out, scraping the rust out of it, scraping the rust out of where the dust seal goes. I'm going to take and get all of our parts washed up here in the parts washer. We'll pop off this O-ring. We will look through the rebuild kit. Actually, we can do it right now. We'll see what all we got. So it looks like we've got a couple new snap rings that we had there, in case we sent one of those flying. We have a new square cut seal, new dust seal. We've got the new outer seal for the parking brake mechanism. And we've got that little O-ring I just popped off, but we've also got a bigger one. I don't think we missed anything, did we? Maybe it's the mystery seal, different option. Turbo or non-turbo, maybe. I don't know. That would not have a seal, right? Yeah, no, because that doesn't sit down past that. Not sure, folks. Maybe a different option. Not sure what it's for. But anyhow, it looks like everything is right in the box. Seals look to be about the right size. Sweet baby. All right, well, let me get this cleaned up and we'll come back and put this thing together. I just thought as I'm digging away here, the other seal is going to be for the inner piston inside of our outer piston. So we'll tear this apart. I didn't tear it apart because I just figured we're going to use the whole thing out of the other one. So that's going to come in here. Ooh, that's gross. Charles, I want you to do better maintenance on your brake system, bro. So there's our other seal, and we've got a little bearing there, a couple flat washers and a wavy washer, and then the snap ring. So that's where the other seal goes. Like I said, I did not have the intention of popping this apart because I was just going to take the whole piston out of the other one. So that's where that goes. Kind of bugged me. I didn't know where that went right offhand. So, all right, back to scraping. All right, it's almost 8 o'clock at night. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat tomorrow's lunch. So I have no lunch tomorrow, Charles. Thanks a lot, pal. We've got this baby cleaned out, and I just went through with a little Scotch-Brite pad, maroon one, and just scuffed around in the bore. It looks pretty decent in there. Cleaned out the grooves, obviously. To clean out the bearing, I just turned the bearing around so you could get to the back portion of it, in the bottom side of the piston, and I could spray out the bearing, and then I just blew it all off good with a blow nozzle. So I think we can start putting that little guy together. That look yummy. So I'm gonna eat a little bit, drink some soda so I can stay awake, and see if we can't finish this little guy off. All right, I think we nuked that baby. At least all the good stuff anyways. Delicious. It was okay. It ain't like Mrs. O cooks them, I'll tell you that. But she's not here today. So I had to go up to the deli. I was dying for a turkey pastrami, a hot turkey pastrami sandwich on rye. Nothing, no beans. I was super excited about getting one too. So we went with the classic ham and cheese. All right, now we got to figure out how to put this thing back together. It's going to Florida, so we'll never see this baby. So let's go ahead and open these up. But that's not how we do it. You guys know that. I'm just actually jealous of people working in Florida because this is probably like the worst rust they see. Like, oh, look at that, it's so rotted. But anyhow, so let's get that out. Oh, what do we got for parts and pieces? We need this little fella because first off, we got to put our cam back in there. We can't really goof this up, in theory. Excuse my cough, don't mind my cough. But I think we're going to use a little bit of Silglide multi-purpose silicone lubricant. We're going to take, first stuff is a little bit gritty. Make sure that's clean. Let me get a Silglide applicator, don't mind my arm. Here we go. Looks like A&D ointment. That's probably all it is. It's probably all A&D ointment is silicone paste for babies. So I'm going to lube up that bearing. All right. Then I want to get a little bit of lubrication where the seal is going to go in there. Help slip it in the hole. That's got to go down in that inner groove. Can you guys see what's up? So there that is. That sits in the inner groove. Got a little lubrication on that lip. Slip that in there so it engages in the other groove. And that's that. She's in the groove, both grooves. Our bearing is out of the way, so that's good. I wonder if it would make sense to, how come we just fought that for like 20 minutes getting it off and I just slipped it right in? Wow. Let's just go ahead and set this on here loosely in case I'm prematurely putting it on. Looks good for my house, baby. And then we've got the pin. And we're going to put a little bit of spooge on the end of that to keep it in there. And that's got to go all the way down inside. I can't even see what's going on here. All the way down deep inside in that cam. I cannot put it in with the magnets. However, we could probably put it in that way. That little bit of goop on there, we'll be able to stick it in. But before you go sticking it in, you need to put the rubber on, which we did. We'll lubricate that. Make sure that's going to go in. Ooh, nice and easy. That bore's good and clean. So we'll stick that pin in there. Shimon, baby. Wiggle that in. And when we pull on the lever, oops, where are you folks? So when we pull on the lever, you can see it picks up just ever so slightly. Let's see, can you tell? Ready? I'm gonna pull lever, up, down, up, down. All right, so that means we've got we're engaged into the cam, all right? And that is keywayed because that's where this little washer comes in here. I don't know if it has a special name, a key plate, I guess it would be. All right, so we're going to stick that facing down, line up the corresponding female half. All right. How do we know if we have it in? You never want to have to ask yourself that question. All right, let's see. It's in, baby. So you can see, man, I keep moving, man. I don't even, you guys aren't even gonna be able to see crap when I'm done with this video. But you see the little divot in the bottom of it, so it's pretty much at the bottom portion of the caliper. So that's in. Oh, crap biscuit, what was next? Oh man, I should have took better notes. I never take very good notes. So that's in. Then what was it? It was a snap ring. That's right. It did come with new ones. I don't know. Let me compare these. These are the OEM ones. They are different. So you got a big one and a little one. Same thing here. The smaller one goes in further. There is a small step inside that bore. Good thing I did not pay attention. So we're going to see, I don't know how the heck we're going to do this because like a freaking fool, I just popped it out with a screwdriver. Let's just for poop and laughter see if we can get it in using the same pliers. I think these Astro ones were about the closest thing to getting it in. Ah, pin diameter is too big for the new snap rings. Well, when in doubt, use the old snap ring, they say. That's what my grandma used to tell me. That pin diameter, it's that inner one, the pin diameter is a little off for. The outer one, the pin works fine. I don't have ones with smaller pins. How about this? How about we use these little fellas? There's some different ones. These are some convertibles. Who wants to bet this thing's going flying across the shop? Get that. Reach. Oh, baby, you are so close. I can't see crap. Oh, now I can. Oh my gosh, I think it just popped in, but I don't have it in all the way. So, I wish I could show you guys this, but it's kind of difficult to have me and my big schnoz down in here and try to have you in here. And I'm just doing this for Charles so he doesn't think that I ripped him off. Let him know that we're working late, struggling. All right, so I'm going to give it a squeeze. Try to push the back side of that snap ring down. Come on, little guy. You can do it. Ooh, baby, I'm in. Wow, that was a little easier than I thought. We got all worked up over nothing. So the snap ring is meowing down inside the bore. So you guys can see that. That went in a little easier than anticipated. So that's good, right? Is that good? I just say that to reassure myself. Oh my gosh, now what? I think we had, yeah, that's got telltale marks on it. It's got a couple, you can see where that was sitting down in there next. So we'll stick the old washer in. That sits on there. Yeehaw. And what did we have? We had the spring, right? That's right, because we were thinking that this is going to be a son of a gun to get this little circuits back together. Oh crap, that's going to be wicked to get back together. There's probably some old brake caliper rebuilder watching the channel like, you need a tool. He knows a trick, his grandma taught him, and oh, this is going to suck. Oh, folks, there may be some swearing here on the SMA channel. We might go rated R with this. So we've got to put this heavy duty. This is probably bigger than the valve spring that's inside the car, to be honest with you. She's, what shall we say, taunt. Not springy. That sits against the flat washer. It goes against the spring retainer. That's got to go down in. Oh my good night, construction site. That is going to be tight. And then we got to push that in while holding it, while putting the snap ring on. Wow, it's going to be time to come up with something. I got to come up with something. I think I've got it. But Joe, I think he's got it. Let's see. Toolbox tour. There it is, guys. You wanted it. You got it. Let's do this. I don't do a toolbox tour because I'm sure people think I've got all these fancy tools when indeed I don't. I've got a lot of tools, but not a lot of fancy. I mean, these ain't all Mac and Snap-on. Whatever it is that you probably think it is. I think it would be a disappointing video. Oh, let's see. Is that little guy gonna work? Yeah, buddy. That'll work. Alright. Back over here. Hope you guys like the toolbox tour video. So we've got that. We've got to line up all those little things. Oh man, something is going flying. Holy crap. Oh, this is going to be ugly. What do we need? What do we need? Let me think. You ever tear something apart and be like, crap, I shouldn't have tore that apart? Well, this is not one of those times, but I'm just saying I've been in those situations before. All right, the theory here is good. However, I need to be able to apply constant pressure. This is oddly shaped, so we can't even really stick it in the press and just hold it with the press. We probably could. And we're going to be fidgeting on that O-ring, or on this snap ring. Let's just stick that on there so we don't forget. It sucked to kind of come up with something crafty and then I forgot your snap ring. All right, let me think. Let me turn off the camera and think. God, I have something here. All right, folks, I've moved to the vise. And the best I could come up with to try to keep stuff out of my way. Oh, that crap all over here. Old coffee cup from this morning, next to the other old coffee cup from this morning. The 14 millimeter, oops, moving you guys around here, Subaru head bolt socket from Snap-on is also the caliper rebuild socket. Because I'm thinking, this is going to suck because I'm here by myself, and I'm probably going to need a second hand. I'm thinking if we go something like this, and then we line up that spring retainer in there, whoa, oh, she's almost in, I can taste it. We're close, there she goes, baby. All right, so, wise guy, now what? I've got the spring retainer down. Now we're gonna fumble for the next little bit here. This sucks. This sucks, Charles. Oh, it'll be okay. I like a good challenge. Keeps you sharp, you know? I don't really know if that's true or not, but makes you think. Get yourself in a situation. There ain't nobody else here that's gonna fix it, pal. Come on, guy. Tell me that didn't, yeah, that just did not go in. I was really hoping that it did, but it didn't. I can't see crap past me. Screwdriver. Come on. Oh, sugar. We got a pocket screwdriver here. Boom. Of course we do. Got these little things everywhere. It's not long enough. Story of my life. How about this one? Holy crap. What are you thinking with that one, fella? Come on. Get down in there. Squeezing ya. Feel like I'm close. I just gotta get the back of that snap ring to go down in. Down. Come on, little guy. Alright, no wrist is giving out here. That's a lot of spring pressure. Son of a pop. I also don't want to, be knocking a bunch of crap down in here. Tell you what, let me get half of the snap ring started, perhaps. See if there's enough friction where I can just kind of tweak it around. I doubt it. Yeah. That is not going to be the case. Oh, sugar. Oh. Who am I going to call? Nobody. I don't know too many old Datsun guys. Just wish I had somebody else here to hold this piston for me. I tried to persuade this snap ring in. I need some wicked long snap ring pliers. I think we mentioned that taking it apart. We thought that inner one was going to be a pisser. Man, I'm giving it the squeeze, dude. Come on. I can see the back half of it right there. It's staring me right in the face. Get down in my belly. Ah, son of a... Well, folks, real life struggles. Think, you fool. How are we going to do this? Think. I think that's the best option, man. What a piss pot. Let me just make sure I'm definitely going past that groove. I am. Everything looks cool, man. Well, I'm going to fiddle with it like this for a little while because I can't think of anything else to do. It's got to be the best method, short of having somebody to hold the screwdriver while I fiddle, but I'll go at it. I'll kick the camera on in a few hours when I get it. That's about it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to whoosh. If you don't smoke, you may want to consider it. So, the issue. You guys remember how that thing had like the little pedals on the bottom? You know, the little pedals that went out that the snap ring actually sits against. Well, the issue was, so I've got my socket on here. And I've got a host of screwdrivers and tools. There's a few over there on the wall that went flinging somehow. I didn't throw anything. But anyhow, so when you're pushing down on this little guy like this, what was happening is some of those pedals were actually getting stuck in the snap ring groove. And that's why I just couldn't get that snap ring to go down in. And I noticed it, I guess basically on accident. You know, it flung apart for like the 37th time it came out, and I noticed one of those pedals was actually bent up slightly, so I took and, you know, I bent it down, and I'm like, how the heck did that get bent? And then I'm like, oh, you ding dong, and I'm pushing the thing in, you know, I've got it here, of course, you know, I've got the screwdriver here, I'm on it with this elbow, and then I'm, you know, in here trying to line that spring retainer cup up as it goes down in. And anyhow, yeah, I seen it snag. I'm like, oh, you dummy. So I got it gently, you know, you push it down until you feel it kind of like hit. And then you got to reach in over the screwdriver and try to get it centered to go down into the next step. And then you got to hold everything together while you get the snap ring in, which was a challenge in and of itself. I probably have pissed around with this for at least a good solid 15 minutes. So if that's going to tell you, I don't know if that's any kind of new record at the Cardone remanufacturing facility or what. I did get a little bit of dust in there and probably a few swear words. Wow, that was tricky. Yeah, well, that was timely. I'll keep that in mind for next time, I'll tell you that. Like there's ever going to be a next time. All right, let's make sure you torque that in spec. And we can see now our adjusting rod comes up and down. We've got spring tension back on it. So that's good. Wow, I'm kind of scared to look over it. I want the thing to blow apart on me. But we know it's good. All right, we are at the point where we can add our seal. We can add our dust seal. take and screw my bleeder in here. 1982, I took the bleeder out with a wrench, a 12-point wrench. Unbelievable. It's gotta be amazing to work like in a non-rust belt. I wouldn't even know what to do. Half my tools would be useless. I've probably got more varieties of broken bolt extractors. And I've got just about, I just screwed that right in the wrong hole you guys watched. Wow. I'm not even worthy to work down south. I don't even know what hole the brake bleeder goes in. That's awesome. And you guys saw it. At least they're the same thread, right? As I was saying, I don't even know what I was saying. That's kind of embarrassing. Not gonna lie. Oh, what do we need? I don't want to put the seal in or any of that hocus pocus until this one we're gonna rob. Until we rob this piston. So let's get this little guy out. Oh, baby. Woo! That scared me. Now she goes. Maybe. Ha! Look at that, you little sons of suckers at freaking wherever they rebuilt this crap. They didn't even have that. Theirs locked in because they screwed around with it for 20 minutes. You little son of a hoo-ha. I can't believe that. There you go, folks. Let's see. What brand is this? Wing Dong China is what this thing is. Look at that. Thanks a lot, Vanessa O. More of your crappy parts. Made Heco in USA. Oh, isn't that freaking embarrassing? I was gonna blame it on Wing Dong, but we gotta blame this one on Bob. Way to go, Bob. You didn't even put your freaking brake caliper together right. Huh. I feel his pain a little bit though, but you shouldn't have gave up, Bob. Don't give up. You can do it. What did we come after? Where's our piston? Oh, here it is. So here's our piston. I can't believe that. And no blowing it apart didn't just pop that thing loose. So everybody jumps to conclusions. All sassy. Okay, so these are just like the centric ones. So you can see the difference of the inside of the bore. So look at that snap ring. Look at that big jumbo compared to our old one here. So they're totally different. So that's interesting. So they must be able to get the new inner piston here. Ah, crap. Because here's our snap ring, all right? You can see how much smaller that bore is inside there. I don't know if you can tell or not. It's probably not a good representation, but totally different piston size. There. Now maybe you can see. I don't know if you can. But anyhow, totally different. I can't believe that new caliper, man. Let's see, is this right-hand thread? It is right-hand thread. In theory, before we put our square cut seal in there, let's make sure she threads on, baby. Oh, like a glove. Look at that. Like a glove. Alright, so that's good. That makes me happy. Let's make sure you put that snap ring in, probably, because that's the easy one. So we're going to leave the piston and stuff right inside of that one. I can't see any sense in ripping that down. Put some more A&D ointment on this baby. Get that up in the square cut groove seal. just going up in by hand like a caveman. Keep that lip from getting all rusty. Nobody likes a rusty lip. Is it up in there? I can't tell. I think so. All right, that looks good. Let's get our new seal up in this business. Don't let her get rolled up on you. All right, that's in. Lots of lubrication. Somebody's probably gonna be squealing because I'm not using brake fluid for lubrication, but whatever, dude. This will work just fine. Well, Charlie, he'll flush it all out when he gets it. So we're going to put our dust seal on. Maybe. Feel around the inside here. I'll make sure it's in that groove. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of lube on the inside here of the dust seal, so when we slide the piston in, she'll go in nice and easy. We want it around this lip because these are going to be screw-in pistons, so once we get this rubber up and around, we're going to need to be able to thread it in. All right. Do I say all right a lot? I don't even know. It's friggin', oh my gosh, it's almost 9 o'clock. Do we seriously got this much time to do a brake caliper? At least we're only doing one. All right. So meow, those extra parts are good. This is where it's tricky. We've got to get the piston in the rubber without ruining the rubber. So we're going to line her up like so. This is an old trick my grandmother taught me. We're going to stick that up. Whoa, baby! Don't you do that to me. She's a farter. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. This is kind of awkward. I'm trying to hold it so you guys can see. You know what? You might not be able to see, folks. You want to do it. Come on, little fella. Oh, son of a... Got a little two-sided seal there, folks. It's really not that difficult to do. I'm just fumbling like a fool. Like a bamboon. Bamboon. Is that even a bamboon? Like a monkey. Are you serious? What the heck is going on here? You are like a monkey. All right. Round 2, I should edit that part out. I'll edit it so it looks smooth. Easy transitions. Get up on there, you little fella. Oh, I'm gonna say the F word. You son of a... I'm coming back. Oh, I'm gonna scream. I just used a little girl voice. This is even the right one. It is. It's totally the right one. Why am I doing this like an asshat? I legit have blown them up on there like every time I've ever done a brake caliper ever in my life, which isn't a lot, but obviously it is not going to work this go around. So let's not be ridiculous. I was trying to show you guys a cool trick, okay? I'm not going to lie. But we're going to nix the cool trick and we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way. But usually, like I say, anytime I've ever done one, you hold the piston there, you hit it with the blow nozzle, it pops on. It looks like you know what you're doing. Oh, I can't even hold the camera. This is disappointing. Where's my pliers? I'm just ready to go home. So now we've got to screw this little fella till she lines up. You can't see it now, obviously. We've got to get it through that square cut seal. Yes, I have the brake caliper retraction tool, but these are handy. That's embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. I'm embarrassed. I got to publish the video because I told them that I would. It's so embarrassing. Anyhow, is that not in all the way? Are you stinking kidding me? The lip of our dust boot came out with just a smidge right there. I'm having relapse. I cannot stick my hand right there. Oh, I really want to. Did you see that? I really, really want. Tell you what, let's just be civil about this. I don't know how the heck we managed to do that. I hate it when some things don't go as planned, you know. That's life, I guess. Life doesn't give you seatbelts, folks. There. Now that's back in. What that little pop-up was. Alright. That was easy. Alright, is that baby in all the way now? Yes, it is. Wow. So there we go. Embarrassing as that was to not be able to just blow that rubber up off on. I just thought it would look cool. Well, there you go, Charles. There's your brake caliper. Your little piston comes out. Of course, it's going to have some pressure on it to get it to stay out. That's just kind of the way it works. But we can see the parking brake works. The only thing we can't do is put it on the vehicle and pressure test it. But I'm sure he'll write in the comments if we totally boned it and it does not work. So make sure you put it in the comments, Charles, if this works or if it doesn't. Now what I'm concerned about is the fact that this piece of crap was not put together all the way, which is awesome. See, I hate stupid aftermarket garbage. We could see it firsthand. We didn't get to put this thing on a car. It was junk. So what we're going to do, we're going to save this stuff for Charles. We're going to save his guide pins and boots and stuff. We're just going to send this back for a core. Good luck with that. We'll give him some extra garbage to put it together with. That looks like some stuff. I didn't even make it in the box. That'll go back to somewhere in the USA to be rebuilt. There. But what I'm concerned with is the fact or I just stopped mid-thought, that one was blown apart. So I feel kind of compelled to tear apart the other, new one and see what kind of job they did with that one. I'm just going to put his bracket back on there. I'll give him, like I said, I'll give him all the pins and hardware, new rubber boots and stuff there. He can handle that portion of it. He probably could have handled this portion of it. I'm certain that he could. If I can, he could. He's older and wiser anyways. Probably could have handled it better with less naughty words. But let's open up the other box here. All right, here's the other one. Heco and USA. There's this little guy. So what we have to do is we have to tear apart this new one too, because if they kibosh this one, we got to know about it, right? Right. We'll have it live on camera. I'll just stick that in there for right now. Oh, I can feel it on my fingers. Well, let's see, that rubber's in, okay. Let's go ahead and cut this loose. Wouldn't it be something if this one's all freaking falling apart too? Flashlight. Looked like that snap ring was half hanging up out of there, but optical illusion, obviously, because it's not. Well, it's a good thing we looked. I'm not even going to try to blow that one up. Actually, I'm gonna. I need to redeem myself somehow. Let's just kind of stick that on there. Maybe this one. Maybe it's just some seals he bought. Maybe I just suck. Huh? Look at that. Bam! Like a boss. First try. So that's how you do that, folks. Just in case you're wondering. Maybe I just needed a little bit of humility. Is that the proper word? I don't even know. Watch out, I'll probably get this thing on a cross-threaded or something. Now that I've got the rubber on there like a boss. Well, there you go, Charles. We probably just voided the warranty on this one by tearing it apart. But it is what it is, dude. I couldn't send that all the way to Florida to know that they screwed up one. Why wouldn't they have screwed up another? That's disappointing. Made in USA too. Wow. Well, there we are. Oh, look at that. We got extra one of these. What did I do with this caliper? It's right in front of my face. Look at that. I feel like a rebuilder now that I stuck one of those in there. Well, there it is, guys. I don't know what more to say. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I'm slightly embarrassed. We got to get that. Let's go ahead and stick the bracket on that one. Whew. Wow. What a video. What an epic video. Well, there you have it, folks. I was just on the phone with Charles for 59 minutes and 53 seconds. Just short of an hour. He likes to talk, but he's got some fantastic stories. Just one of them people that makes you laugh, you know. Seen a lot, done a lot. And now he has seen how to rebuild your caliper. So we've got one official left side caliper for your 82 Datsun ZX, 280ZX. I've got him a couple bags of parts in here, new guide pins, new copper washers, and such. And then we're gonna send him back the right side caliper that was rebuilt in the USA, which we know is put together correctly the best that we can tell, unlike the other one in that box. And then we'll send him back the other rebuild kit that he bought, or O-ring kit rather. And that's that. So that's how you rebuild the caliper, with the epic fail of blowing the dust boot up on. That's a little embarrassing, but whatever. It's struggles. It's real life. We don't have seat belts like I mentioned, so just hang on and go for the ride. Do what you can. We'll send that back to him tomorrow via UPS or something. Get it back to him. And I guess that's it. It's time for me to go home. It's 10 o'clock at night, and we burned up a few hours here pretty quickly, but one of those being on the phone. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it turned out good. I'm not sure about the camera and where I had it, but I'm just glad that we were able to buy 2 right-hand calipers and salvage the parts out of the one. I'm pretty disappointed though to see that the one was broke in the box, brand new. But after struggling with that spring and spring cup retainer, I can understand why. The guy probably gets paid on piece rate and needed to make some dough, but it's no excuse. He should have done a good job.
That was easy.
And that was it. So, all right guys, Google+, Facebook, you know the routine. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that yet. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.